there BookTube, it's Eleanor here, and today I'm doing my June TBR. So as you know, I'm following the challenges for Shelf Slam, and pulled out of the Shelf Slam pot this month was new to you authors. So we'll be looking at reading only books by new to you authors this month, and lucky for me there is a shed load of them on my shelves. So let's just talk about some of the ones that will be in my TBR, but really I have a huge selection, so I'm very excited about this challenge. So the first book that I'm looking forward to reading is The Sea Inside by Philip Hoare. This was one that was given to me and recommended on my books reading spa that I went to in Bath with the lovely Mercedes. This is non-fiction and it's based around sea and sea creatures. Philip Hoare sets out on this discovery to travel from England to the Azores, Sri Lanka and New Zealand. It says he navigates human and natural history, encounters scientists, tattooed warriors, whales and creatures we thought were extinct. Part memoir, part fantastical travelogue. The Sea Inside is a wondrous voyage of discovery, so I'm really excited to get to this. Next I have another non-fiction, and that is Mad Girl by Bryony Gordon. This looks at Bryony Gordon's battle with OCD, and I don't know much about her, but I believe she's very funny and this story will be very readable, and as someone that potentially has some OCD tendencies, I think it will be really interesting to read. Next up is a book that I feel like I have to read because Mercedes absolutely adored this book, and everyone else that I have heard of read it loved it, and it just sounds like it might be up my street. Fingers crossed, because sometimes it can all go wrong. But that is The Clay Girl by Heather Tucker. So all I know really about this, because I have been avoiding finding out too much, is that it's about a young girl. Her father one day like kills himself, blows his head off in front of her, and we're following her story, and I think there's a lot of dark and disturbing topics in this, but I don't shy away from those, and I'm interested to see where it goes, and I think it's got such a beautiful cover, so fingers crossed. Next up is The Reason I Jump, which is by Naoki Higashida. I've wanted to pick this up for ages, and again this is off my reading spa list of books that I picked up. It's about a boy with autism. It's been introduced by David Mitchell and translated by David Mitchell and K.A. Yoshida, so I'm really interested in this. It's about one boy's battle with autism, and I believe it's written almost like an interview. So question 19 is, what are your flashback memories like? And then you've got question 40, do you like adverts on TV? So I think this will be a really interesting exploration. Next up is a book by Aranda Abdel Fattah, which is a new to me name, and this may be a debut book. It's called The Lines We Cross. This is a YA story. It was very kindly sent to me by the publisher. It says on the back, a boy, a girl, two families, one great divide. Michael is drawn to his new classmate Mina, but they're on opposite sides of an issue that's tearing their town apart. His parents are part of an anti-immigration group, while her family have fled their besieged home in Afghanistan. As tensions rise, lines are drawn, and both must decide what matters the most. So I think this is going to be quite poignant and definitely very current. Next, the book I've been meaning to read to ages, and that is Dumpling by Julie Murphy. This I believe is about a girl. She is a larger lady and a larger young lady, and she wants to enter a beauty pageant to show that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Beauty can come in all shapes, sizes and looks, and I'm hoping that this is going to be a really positive book. Next I have Annabelle by Kathleen Winter. This is on my diversity bingo, so this will be great to hit one of those. This story is set in 1968 in Canada and surrounds a child being born who is neither male nor female, and the decisions that need to be made and the repercussions of those decisions and how it affects people in the town, it affects the family, it affects the child. I think it will be a really interesting look into parenthood and those decisions, those hard decisions you have to make, and whether you should be making those. So I'm really looking forward to this one. I think it's going to be quite hard hitting. Next I have another that's going to be on my diversity bingo, I believe, and that is The Pearl That Broke Its Shell by Nadia Hashimi. I've had this on my shelf for a while, and the cover is beautiful. You can't see it there, but it's really pearlescent like a pearl. I love it. And I've wanted to read this for a long time. It's set in Kabul in 2007. It says the Taliban rules the streets with a drug-addicted father and no brothers. Rima and her sisters can rarely leave the house or attend school. Their only hope lies in the ancient Afghan custom of bakaposh, which allows young Rahima to dress and be treated as a son until she is of marriageable age. As a boy, she has the kind of freedom that was previously unimaginable, freedom that will transfer her forever. But Rahima is not the first in her family to adopt this unusual custom. A century earlier, her great-great-grandmother, Shakiba, left orphaned by an epidemic, saved herself and built a new life in the same way. The change took her on a journey from the deprivation of rural life in a rural village to the opulence of a king's palace in the bustling metropolis of Kabul. Crisscrossing in time, The Pearl That Broke Its Shell interweaves the stories of these two remarkable women who are separated by a century but share the same courage and dreams. Already reading that, it's making me well up, so I think this is going to be a really powerful story. Next, I have The Book of Memory by Patina Gappa. This again is on my diversity bingo. I'm really going for it this month to try and hit a few more squares. And this is the story told by a woman in jail. It says Memory, who's the woman telling the story. She's an albino woman and she's in a maximum prison in Harare in Zimbabwe, convicted of murder. And we're just hearing her story. I've heard really good things about this and it needs to be read. Next, by Dolores Phillips, I have The Darkest Child. This was recommended to me quite a long time ago by Mercedes. She said it was a really good read. I can't remember what it was that I'd read. I think it was Ruby by Cynthia Hand. I'd loved. And she'd said how good this story was. It says on the back, Roselle Quinn is so fair-skinned that she can pass for white. Her 10 children are mostly light too. Everyone in the small Georgia town in which she lives knows they have different fathers, some of them in high places too. However, it is Tangi May, the darkest of them all, who is the brightest and the only one desperate to be educated. But Roselle wants 13-year-old Tangi May to take over her jobs, days doing house cleaning for whites, nights servicing men, white and black at the farmhouse. And Roselle is not a woman whose commands can be ignored. She is a creature of moods, desperate for her children's love and harshly repressive of any signs of independence. So this sounds like it's going to be quite a moving read. And then finally, on the sort of top TBR, I have My Name is Leon by Kit DeWall. I think this is the actual front cover here. Loads of people have talked about this already, but it's the story of 9-year-old Leon and his brother Jake. I believe that one is black and one is white, and it is about their treatment. They go into, I don't know whether it's foster care or they go and live with, it says Maureen, and they're threatening to take one of the boys away from the other. And I just really, yeah, I've heard great things. It says on the front, a brother chosen, a brother left behind, and the only way home is to find him. Loads of people have recommended this and it is about time I read it, and it also I think hits one of my diversity bingos. So I've got a lot of books there. I'm really excited about all of them, as always excited about the books that I'm going to read, but there seems to be a bit of a theme here, quite a dark theme. I've gone through reading these happy, jolly, easy read books and I'm feeling like I'm ready for some darker topics, so we'll see how I get on. But if I don't decide to pick those up, there are plenty more on my shelf that I new to me authors, but those are definitely the ones that I am veering towards at the moment. Anyway, I'm interested to hear what you're reading this month. Let me know as always in the comments down below. Let's chat, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Bye for now, BookTube.